Bring in now former NYPD Detective Thomas Ruskin. Thank you so much, Thomas, for joining us. We've talked about in the past whether it was the Bataclan or the restaurants in Paris, the entryway of the airport in Brussels, these so-called soft targets. And, you know, you're a detective, and I'm surrounded by law enforcement from the FBI on. As a civilian, when I hear soft target, that's everywhere we go every day outside of a military base and maybe a police headquarters. Everywhere that an average individual goes is a soft target for the most part.
We live in a very open society. I mean, we go back to Faisal Shahzad pulling his car into Times Square a couple of Mays ago and trying to detonate his car. Yes, we live in a very open country and a very open society, and that's why law enforcement has to get it right every single day. They don't have a chance of a one day we made a mistake or we missed this. They have to get it right every single day. And as Sean has said, and as Manny has said on your show in the past hour, this is what the responsibility of law enforcement and current law enforcement is going to have to be. What we're going to have to learn from this incident is how in the future, after the FBI maybe questions someone 3 times, how that person may be targeted. So if they buy a gun or a long rifle in the last week, the FBI or local law enforcement may have to go out and re-interview that person to see if they become radicalized or what they need these weapons for. And that's only for people who are potentially a threat to the country or a soft target.
And you talk about, and we've discussed this with Sean Henry and others, and as Pete Williams points out, we have laws in this country. You can't just kick someone's door down and drag them out. Thankfully, because a colleague says something about you, you are not instantly arrested and thrown in some dungeon. There's a process here. But at some point, it sounds as if, as we did after 9/11, we're not throwing out the laws, but the process, the investigation. Is it wrong to say, what's going on here? 3 times. 3 times.
It's not wrong to say what's going on here. It's right to have law enforcement learn and government officials learn from past incidents. And this is a terrible, terrible day. 103 people were shot. Out of those 103 people who were shot, 50 people are now dead. You have a crime scene at the scene who is probably started to be prepared and gone through by local law enforcement until the FBI took over the case. And then that shifts to the Bureau to do the crime scene and to do the follow-up in Port St. Lucie and wherever else that goes. I mean, at this point in time, not to tell tales out of school, they're going through his cell phone. They're going through computer records, postings on the internet. They're looking to who he may have had other contacts with. We learned this from San Bernardino's shooting. At first, they thought it was just the couple who was involved, and it later turned out that neighbors had seen things and other people were involved with him. That's what's going to come out of this. Unfortunately, too late for the 50 victims, but maybe in time to stop something else or another soft target from being hit in this country.
Well, again, just to update those of you who may have just joined us from the latest information from the FBI, the